Case against a rapper accused in a shooting outside of the Varsity will move forward. Today, Lil Durk appeared in court where a judge ruled there was enough evidence for him to go to trial. Channel 2's anchor Lori Wilson is live near where the shooting happened, near the Varsity, and Lori, police say they have video evidence in this case.
On October 25th, Lil Durk got hit with some of the heaviest charges he's ever faced. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse,
shoot this man. Did you commit the other crimes of which you're accused?
No, because I have nothing to add. I have nothing to run from.
Words going around that he might have collapsed in court after hearing he's facing a possible death sentence.
You see Mr. Banks' arm out the window firing several shots.
In this video, we're diving deep into the charges that got him here, what went down in court, and whether this could really be the end for Durk as we know him. Facing the death penalty. It's looking real rough for Lil Durk right now. The rapper is currently sitting behind bars at Broward County Jail, no bond, hit with a murder-for-hire charge. And this isn't just another legal battle. Court records say he's about to be handed over to the U.S. Marshals for federal proceedings. Word on the street, Durk could be facing life in prison or even the death penalty. This isn't a setback. This could be the final chapter for him. And the craziest part, all this went down just when Durk was making headlines for positive moves.
Shoot this man. Did you commit the other crimes of which you're accused?
No, because I have nothing to add. I have nothing to run from.
Just exactly a week before his arrest on October 18th, he was getting honored with the keys to the Chicago villages of Broadview and Bellwood for his work through his foundation, Neighborhood Heroes. It looked like Durk was really trying to give back and turn things around. Only months before, he'd even taken to Instagram, reaffirming his Muslim faith and leaving behind his old life. He posted, "Don't label me as anything outside of a man, a father, and 1000% Muslim. The Voice." He told fans he was stepping into a new chapter and that he's not gangbanging. He's living by faith. He wrote, "If you follow me as a brother, a friend, an icon, follow me to my new chapter." It was a big shift, a signal he was leaving behind the street life and making moves in a whole new direction. But now, with this recent indictment, everything's been flipped. Prosecutors are painting a whole different picture.
You see Mr. Banks' arm out the window firing several shots.
Claiming Durk is the leader of a Chicago-based crew called Only the Family, or OTF. According to a federal complaint filed in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California, they say this crew's been involved in some serious crimes. Violence, assaults, even murder, all allegedly under Durk's orders. Now, for those who might not know the full story behind OTF, here's the deal. Only the Family, or OTF, is a crew Durk started back in 2010. It started as a tight circle, friends who came up together in Chicago's drill music scene, a scene where loyalty runs deep and backing. Each other is everything. Durk's vision for OTF was all about that family-first mentality. But over time, OTF built up a rep, not just in the music game, but also in the streets, with some members connected to the Black Disciples, a powerful Chicago street gang that's been around since the 60s. The Black Disciples aren't just any group. They've got influence all over Chicago and deep roots in the city's drill culture. That connection added a whole other layer to OTF's image, giving them loyalty, unity, and undeniable street credibility. OTF first came onto the scene through a collaboration with French Montana's Coke Boys label, earning them the early name OTF Coke Boys. Eventually, they parted ways with Coke Boys and moved toward independence, later securing distribution deals with major players like Interscope and Alamo Records. OTF members like the late King Von, Booker 600, and Duty Low, alongside Lil Durk, have played a huge role in shaping the crew's reputation and impact in drill and trap music. Their loyalty to the family-first philosophy shows up in their shared projects, albums like Family Over Everything and Loyal Bros, which carry the family branding that defines OTF's tight bond and unity. But according to prosecutors, there's a darker side to the crew, especially after an OTF member known as OTF Jam allegedly snitched, giving investigators a whole different story. Jam wasn't just some random crew member. He and Durk had real history, a genuine friendship. But the word is, Jam allegedly wore a wire for years, feeding evidence straight to the feds. For many in the circle, this is the ultimate betrayal. And it's not like Durk wasn't holding him down. Durk was seen with him multiple times, hyping him up in old live streams.
For now.
Hey, tell
count this much.
Tell them what's going on, Jam.
Hey, you know what's so crazy though? He sitting up there doing all this, sneak this and internet games and all this. Up some money, do something. Like, we winning, bro. I can do it. Whatever it is I want to do, I can do it.
When Jam got hit with a 12-year sentence for attempted murder, Durk made sure he was taken care of. He covered the legal fees, got him a house, a car, and even dropped over 50 grand in cash to keep him straight.
Say he gave you 50, right?
All facts.
Facts.
Facts?
More than that shit. More than that shit.
But so can you tell us how much he gave you, or you don't want to even?
Hell nah.
Nah, we ain't gotta get into all that, but bro made sure he made a way for me to be straight like.
Durk really held him down through it all, which makes this alleged betrayal hit even harder. Jam's betrayal led to the arrest of Durk and 5 other OTF members. The feds came down hard, and those 5 OTF members were the first to fall. All were taken into custody on October 23rd in Chicago, facing some heavy charges: conspiracy to commit murder for hire involving a death, and using a machine gun in a violent crime that led to a death. After those 5 OTF members were taken down, it's like Durk saw the writing on the wall. He knew his time was coming, so he tried to pull a fast one on the feds with a next-level escape plan. Durk booked flights from South Florida to places like Dubai and Switzerland, even arranging for a private jet to Italy. The idea was to throw off the authorities. While they'd be tracking flights to Dubai and Switzerland, he planned to slip away to Italy. But the feds weren't buying it. They were already one step ahead, monitoring every move. Before Durk could even set foot on the plane, they intercepted him right in Miami, cutting off his getaway before it even began. After his capture, the charges came down hard. Durk was officially hit with conspiracy charges and a murder-for-hire plot, leading him straight to Broward County Jail. Prosecutors claim Durk, along with key OTF members, crafted a plan with chilling precision, using 2 vehicles to track, stalk, and ultimately target rival rapper Quando Rondo in a 2022 shooting. For those who don't know, Quando Rondo is a Savannah-born rapper best known for his close ties to NBA YoungBoy. Although Rondo was reportedly the main target, the bullets missed him and struck his 24-year-old cousin, Saviaya Robinson, known on the streets as Lil Pab. According to the indictment, Durk allegedly put a bounty on Quando's head, using coded language to offer cash for anyone willing to make the hit. Things got real on August 18th, 2022, when word hit the crew. Rondo was in LA, posted up in a hotel. The same day, 4 of the 5 key OTF associates later arrested with Durk: DeAndre Wilson, Keith Jones, Asa Houston, and David Lindsay Houston, along with a 5th unnamed suspect, caught a flight straight from Chicago to San Diego, locked and loaded for the mission. Once they touched down in San Diego, the crew made the drive up to Los Angeles, with every expense reportedly covered by Durk himself. But Durk was careful not to leave a trace. He allegedly sent a text to an associate handling the travel with a warning: "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me." While all of this was unfolding, prosecutors claim there's video footage placing Durk in the San Fernando Valley, lying low to keep himself off the radar while everything went down. When they arrived in LA, the crew linked up with another high-ranking OTF member, Keon Grant, who had flown in on a private jet to handle the setup. Grant didn't leave any detail unchecked. He booked hotel rooms, picked up 4 ski masks, and rented 2 luxury sedans, ideal for moving around discreetly but sending a clear message when it mattered. And he wasn't done. Court records say Grant allegedly armed the team, handing over firearms to Jones, Lindsay, and another associate. Among those weapons was one converted into a fully automatic machine gun, ensuring they were ready to make a statement. The very next day, the OTF members allegedly locked in on Rondo, tracking him and his cousin Lil Pab as they made their way around Los Angeles. They stayed on them through every stop. First, a quick run to a marijuana dispensary, then a trip to a West Hollywood clothing store, and finally, they trailed them to a gas station across from the Beverly Center. This wasn't just random tailing, it was strategic, with every move calculated to keep them close and strike at the right moment. As Rondo and Lil Pab filled up at the gas station, Asa Houston allegedly parked his car just behind the station, setting the scene for what was about to go down. Keith Jones, David Lindsay, and another unnamed suspect stepped out, each one prepared for the hit. They moved in and then opened fire, sending a hail of bullets toward the vehicle. Amid all the chaos, Quando somehow came out untouched, not a single scratch on him. But Lil Pab wasn't so lucky. He took the hit, his life ending right there, just a few feet from his friend. The aftermath was as raw as it gets, all caught on camera, showing Quando's gut-wrenching reaction as the police pulled his boy's lifeless body from the car. The aftermath of the shooting was pure chaos, with a total of 18 shots tearing through the scene. The suspects wasted no time, immediately fleeing and later meeting up at an In-N-Out burger joint to settle payment details with Keon Grant. Feeling confident they had pulled off their mission, they headed back down to San Diego, caught a flight, and returned to Chicago as if everything was handled. But as we know now, this whole plan would come back to haunt them. For those not deep in the drama, it's hard to understand why Lil Durk would go to these lengths to target Quando. But anyone who's been following knows that Durk and Quando have been beefing for a minute, and for Durk this was personal. The beef between Lil Durk and Quando Rondo. Even though things got messy between Durk and Quando later on, it wasn't always like that. Early in their careers, Durk and Quando had mutual respect. Quando even featured Durk on his track Other Side, and Durk's appearance gave the song a boost, showing they were on solid terms back then. This collab wasn't just business, it hinted at a sense of camaraderie between the two, a vibe that was different from the beef they're known for now. On top of that, Quando was tight with King Von, one of Durk's closest friends and a major force in Chicago's rap scene. Back in the day, Quando and Von were spotted hanging out, cracking jokes, and even clowning their ops together.
I'm saying though, they got 60 dirty ass.
That connection with Von made Quando part of the circle, and with Durk and Von being tight, it seemed like there was nothing but good vibes between them. But as Quando's career took off, he started getting closer with NBA YoungBoy, a big name in the game with his own set of issues, and that's where things started to change. All that love turned to straight hate when King Von and YoungBoy started beefing, dragging Quando into a mess that nobody saw coming. The first sparks of their beef started flying over social media and subtle shots in their music. King Von, never one to bite his tongue, went live and straight up called out YoungBoy's image, questioning if he was really about that life. Von hinted that YoungBoy's gangster persona was more fiction than fact, taking jabs at his authenticity.
Young boy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
You talking crazy on this man. That cap. You got cap in your raps.
Naturally, YoungBoy didn't take kindly to Von's comments, and then things got even messier. A photo popped up online showing King Von holding hands with YoungBoy's ex, Janya Michelle, who also happens to be the mother of one of his kids. The picture set off a wave of rumors that Von and Janya were dating, adding fuel to an already heated situation. Obviously, this did not sit well with YoungBoy. Adding fuel to the fire, a photo surfaced online showing King Von holding hands with YoungBoy's ex-girlfriend and baby mama Jania Michelle, suggesting they were dating. YoungBoy wasn't about to let that slide. Tired of Von's antics, he took to Instagram to clap back, posting a photo with the caption, "I'm gonna make sure my son your daughter since you trolling." Since Von does have a daughter, it was pretty clear who YoungBoy was talking about, but YoungBoy didn't stop there. He went a step further, releasing a song featuring Asian Doll, King Von's ex-girlfriend, turning the heat up even more.
Hey, we like that for real. Hard body made of steel. Most my niggas in that field.
This move only fueled the back and forth, with both rappers taking shots at each other's street cred and trying to dismantle the other's reputation in the game. It wasn't long before Quando Rondo jumped in to back YoungBoy, adding fuel to the fire. And this wasn't even the first time Quando had YoungBoy's back. Back in 2020, when Kodak Black called out YoungBoy for allegedly working with the police after a stabbing at his place, things got heated. Quando stepped in then too, backing YoungBoy all the way, even going live on Instagram and burning merch from Kodak's label, Sniper Gang.
Chill out, man.
Man, we NBA, man.
Quando was ready to ride for YoungBoy, no matter who got caught in the mix. The tension between YoungBoy, Von, and Quando was building fast, setting up for something major. Things would finally reach a breaking point in the early hours of November 6, 2020, the night King Von lost his life. Just days before, on November 4th, Von had gone on DJ Academic's podcast to shut down rumors of any beef with YoungBoy. He played it cool, chalking up the drama to internet talk and saying it was all blown out of proportion. Von told Academics and fans there was no real problem between him and YoungBoy, like he wasn't fazed by the rumors at all. But that calm front didn't last. The reality would be far from what Von described when he and Quando crossed paths that night in November. On that day, Von gathered his crew, including his manager and about 20 others, and headed out to Opium nightclub in Atlanta to promote the new project. They stayed at Opium for a few hours, and footage of that night was posted online. After leaving Opium, the plan was supposedly simple: head back to their Airbnb. But somewhere along the way, things took a turn. According to Von's manager, everyone thought they were on the way back, but suddenly they lost track of Von's car. Instead of heading back, Von switched things up, ending up at Monaco Hookah Lounge, setting the stage for what would happen next. Meanwhile, over at Monaco, Quando Rondo had just pulled up with his homie Lil Tim. Lil Tim had only recently gotten out of jail after facing serious charges, including conspiracy, possession of stolen property, and obstruction. Police had seized over $16,000, 15 pounds of marijuana, and 2 firearms when he was arrested.
He just wanna, you feel me? You feel me? He just got out of prison. He just want to have fun.
But Quando wasn't in the mood to hit the club. Instead, he wanted to nap outside in the car. Lil Tim decided to stick around with him, and that move would make all the difference. When Von finally got to Monaco, he chilled outside in his car, waiting for his crew to catch up. They soon tracked him down, and the whole crew started heading toward the lounge. But just as they were about to go in, one of Von's friends alerted him that Quando Rondo was in a car just a few feet away. Von didn't hesitate. He headed straight for Quando, who was also stepping out, heading toward the club entrance. Within seconds, Von and Quando were face to face. Von didn't waste any time. He threw the first punch, and just like that, it popped off. A brawl broke out on the spot, with both crews jumping in, turning the whole scene into pure chaos. Then, out of nowhere, Lil Tim stepped out from behind a white car, gun in hand, and started firing. Von took 3 or 4 shots, while his manager got caught in the crossfire, taking a bullet to the leg. Von tragically lost his life that night, and for many, including Durk, who saw Von as his twin, the blame fell squarely on Quando. Durk was devastated and determined to get revenge, and he wasn't alone in that feeling. Even fans were pushing him, with the streets and social media demanding justice for Von. The pressure on Durk got so intense that interviewers started asking him about it directly.
What are you talking about? By the slide for Von comments. I don't know if people still say it. For some reason, I just don't see the comments no more.
Durk played it cool, but many believed he'd already taken his first shot at revenge in 2021. On May 3rd, 2021, Quando Rondo and his crew were ambushed outside a convenience store in Blackshear, Georgia. Just after his performance at the Vibe Event Center in Waycross around 3:20 a.m., they pulled into the lot when shots rang out, allegedly fired from across the highway. The stop was quick. They hadn't been parked long when the bullets started flying. Although Quando walked away without a scratch, one of his crew took a bullet to the hand and had to be treated at a nearby hospital. Police never ID'd the shooters, but the streets were buzzing with rumors, with many speculating that Durk was somehow behind it. Now, prosecutors are saying the 2022 shooting aimed at Quando, which ultimately landed Durk behind bars, wasn't random. They claim it was a calculated move for revenge over King Von's death. But Durk isn't alone in this. The hip-hop world has seen other rappers get tangled in violent conflicts with rivals, with some even rumored to have taken out their ops in deadly ways. Rappers who had their ops killed. One of the most notable examples of a rapper allegedly taking out a rival is King Von himself. Before his tragic death, Von had built a reputation on the streets and was rumored to be connected to the death of Gakira Barnes, a well-known figure from a rival crew. Known on the streets as K.I., Gakira was born and raised in Chicago's South Side, where violence and gang life were all too common. By her early teens, she was deep in the mix, running with the St. Lawrence Boys, or STL, a faction of the Gangster Disciples. STL claimed St. Lawrence Avenue as their home turf, and K.I. was known as one of their most fearless members, ready to go toe-to-toe with rivals at a moment's notice. She quickly gained a rep as someone who wasn't afraid to handle business. K.I.'s name started ringing out in the streets, with people saying she was involved in multiple shootings and clashes with rival gangs, especially O-Block, the Black Disciples crew where Von himself was known to run. The feud between STL and O-Block was no joke. It was a vicious rivalry that claimed lives on both sides, and each crew was locked in a cycle of revenge and violence. The relationship between Gakira and King Von was complicated, a mix of rivalry, respect, and even some unexpected moments of connection. Their interactions on social media revealed an unusual bond between them. Their first encounter reportedly went down on September 25th, 2012. When they ran into each other on a train, things turned physical fast, with Von allegedly landing punches to Gakira's face. He later took to Twitter to brag about it, hinting that he caught an opposing gang member off guard. In response, Gakira mentioned her injuries and fired back, threatening Von online and mentioning her .40 caliber firearm. Their exchanges continued over time, with Von even showing what seemed like a softer side, encouraging Gakira to leave the gang life behind. However, those close to Gakira were skeptical, suspecting that Von's apparent interest could have been a trap rather than genuine concern.
Yeah, he wanted to be her boyfriend. She just felt like he was trying to set her up and kill her.
As tensions between the Gangster Disciples and rivals escalated, Gakira became deeply involved in street conflicts. Rumors spread, saying she might have been linked to numerous shootings, possibly up to 15. Then on April 11th, 2014, tragedy hit. A hooded gunman approached her in Woodlawn and opened fire, hitting her 7 times. Although 2 others were injured, it was clear that Gakira was the primary target. After her death, King Von emerged as a person of interest in the investigation. Police questioned him, but conflicting witness statements kept authorities from pressing charges. Still, the streets had their own verdict, with many convinced Von was behind it. Another major example of a rapper rumored to have taken out his rivals is Youngeen Ace. Just like Durk, Ace is said to have allegedly plotted a hit that ended in the death of Fulio. Fulio, who was shot and killed while celebrating his 26th birthday in June 2024, had a deep-rooted rivalry with Ace that went back years, tied to gang ties and street conflicts. Their beef played out across diss tracks, heated social media exchanges, and even physical confrontations. This intense feud ultimately reached its tragic climax in Tampa, Florida, with Fulio's death. Shortly after Fulio's murder, a masked man posted a video online, claiming responsibility for the hit and alleging that Youngin Ace offered $10,000 as a bounty on Fulio.
It was money on his head, you feel me? I rock with Ace and them boys, you feel me? ATK, you feel me? I be in Jacksonville heavy, you feel me? If you know, you know. But yeah, you feel me? I did that, you feel me? I handled that, cause, you know, Ace had that money on his head, you know, Ace had them put that 10K up. Told me to slide, told me to smack fool.
Ace added fuel to the fire by dropping a track, Do It, on the same day Fulio was killed, with lyrics that listeners immediately linked to the murder. While Ace hasn't been officially charged or named a suspect, the timing of the release sparked major controversy, fueling speculation that he might have had some involvement in Fulio's death. As the investigation unfolded, police named several suspects in Fulio's murder, including Sean Gathright, Elisa Andrews, Isaiah Chance, and two cousins, Rashad and Davian Murphy. But despite the official names, the streets had their own verdict, and many were still convinced Ace had a hand in it. With Durk's trial ahead, his story, like so many others, is a reminder of how these rivalries can escalate into deadly battles that spill beyond the music. Durk's next chapter is still unwritten, but one thing's for sure, the hip-hop world will be watching every step of the way.